So I just figured. So I just finished Arrow Season 2. The blue light is from my TV, which I just turned off. I literally, not the TV, the Xbox I meant, but the blue light is from the TV, which I just finished watching Arrow Season 2, like 30 seconds ago. So, first of all, I want to clarify some stuff I said in the Arrow Season, or I didn't have enough time to clarify in the Arrow Season 1 review. There are themes, and I'll be doing this in all the other ones. When I do Season 3, I'll probably have thought of something for Season 2. You know, something I just didn't have time for. Like, I only have 34 minutes and 52 seconds. Hey, 52 seconds to finish up this video, so I got, the reason I can tell is because of this story. You guys can't see it, so I don't know why I'm pointing to it, but right over here, for me, is a thing that tells me how much storage I have left on my phone. So, currently says 116 out of 3452. So yeah, anyways, the Season 2 review. I thought the fight scenes were spectacular. There is something I kind of want to touch on with Season 4, so... Or, I'm not supposed to be doing Season 1 yet. Season 2 yet. Season 1, here we go. There are themes of distrust, and there are really powerful moments between characters about the lies and the secrets they keep. The lies they tell and the secrets they keep. And a lot of that is still there in Season 2, even though Thea just seems like a petty... I can't say the word, so... But she's so petty about everything. Oh, you lied to me. You... Some things make sense. But, oh, you lied to me. You said your dog didn't poop in the backyard, but your dog did in fact poop in the backyard. Oh, it's the worst thing ever. It's basically what Thea has been like in Season 1. She gets better in Season 2, but right at the end... No, right at the beginning of Season 2, it gets worse. And I'm just like... Shut the hell up, you dumb slut. So... I think someone heard me. But, then you have, like, one of the powerful moments relating to that was, I think it was episode 5. Diggle gives Oliver sort of a speech. No, it wasn't episode 5, because Diggle wasn't working with Oliver then, was he? I don't know. This is pre-Felicity, but Diggle's talking to Oliver, and he's like, oh, well, I don't think you thought about how the secrets impact the ones you keep around you. How much this hurts everyone around you. And you see that Moira is having some parallels to the situation with Walter, about really the undertaking. And you get the sense that these effects will, the lies that Oliver is keeping will tear their family apart. And when all of the stuff, when the chaos is building around Oliver in terms of these lies and stuff, you see that these lies have already torn Moira and Walter apart. So it was one of those powerful moments, is you can use parallels very cleverly. All this stuff built up over time, whereas Oliver is currently building it up. And really there's no payoff to it ever, but it is a powerful moment nonetheless. Would have been made even more powerful if it meant anything whatsoever. Moira and Walter are on decent terms later on. They'll never be where they were, because, now into my Season 2 review. Okay. That was something. I'll be right back. So on my Arrow season 2 review, so you have Oliver. He went back to the island because Tommy died, and he wasn't able to save him. So already Arrow season 1 has a bad ending, a dark ending. I don't know what else to call it. It's a good ending to watch. Not the most satisfying thing, because Tommy just dies and then credits. But written and directed by Mark Guggenheim, apparently. But you see everything with Deathstroke and like Deathstroke and Oliver are buddies at this point. And then Oliver gets off the island in present day, I mean, and I believe while he's on the island, he's having flashbacks to him and Shadow, Shadow, and Slade, and you cut away a few times. Then Oliver just refuses to do Arrow stuff for an entire episode because, oh well, I have to kill people, and I killed people now, but my friend thought I was a murderer. I don't know why I was making fun of that. That actually seems like a reasonable reason to stop. But, yeah, just, Tommy died thinking he was a murderer. And Tommy, despite, death, their relationship was kind of rebuilt. I'm interested to see in season 8 if Tommy Merlin of Earth 1 will ever come back. I've been saying that needs to happen, and yet it's not happening. I mean, it's not like my word is law or anything, but So, we have, interestingly, this year, season 2, instead of the crossover, because there was nothing to cross over to, instead of the crossover, around season 8, or season 1 episode, around this season, episode 8, and then 9, I believe, were the introduction of Barry Allen, the scientist, and 3 ghosts. And in 3 ghosts, we see Tommy yet again, but this time he's a hallucination. And Tommy's like, oh, well, I called you a murderer, but that's not what you are. You're a fighter. You fight to survive. And then he said, you need to keep on fighting. Because Barry gave him rat poison, and he's hallucinating. And apparently it's not because of the rat poison. Apparently those guys were like ghosts, except for Slade. But also, Oliver is afraid of Slade in the hallucination. Gee, I wonder why. And this show had a great way of building stuff up, which is what I'm referencing right now. Season 2, I mean. The rest of the season's not so great at building stuff up. But in season 1 and 2, we see Oliver's relationship with Slade kind of grow. And then Slade dies. Then he gets Mirakuru when he's back. But he gets pissed off and he kicks a guy and then he throws him and he goes into a tree and then dies. Then he does that to another guy and he dies. But then he just punches one guy and his fist goes right through and he pulls out his heart and he dies. And I was just like, what? But you have all this stuff going on and it's just amazing. You start to see what's happening, and you see that Deathstroke is just going... I said Deathstroke, whoopsie doodles. You see that Slade is just kind of going crazy. And something that I guess I want to clarify for that poll that I'm doing right now. This dude has been outsmarting Amanda Waller, and he has been a problem for Amanda Waller for a while. Amanda Waller gave him the name Deathstroke, so... Well, not Amanda Waller, but someone at... Maybe Amanda Waller. What is... But someone at... I was going to say S.H.I.E.L.D., and then I was going to say Hydra, but no. Someone at Argus gave him that nickname. Probably Amanda Waller, but you know. And this, the two seasons, or like the flashbacks, always seem to have parallels. This season's parallels were Slade. He was the main enemy of both, whereas typically the flashbacks have a different villain. So technically, like, people like Black Lion, Paigey, and Eric, I can't remember what his name is. Because his channel name used to be something else, and he changed it, so I can't remember what it was, but Eric's Reloaded or something like that. They say that Arrow, or like there's only one main villain per season, but I'm like, no. Think again, son. Because you have Fires and Malcolm Merlin as the villains of season 1, and it seems like Ivo and Ivo is going to be the villain of this season, as well as the mystery man who hasn't showed himself yet. But no, he's like the secondary villain. Also, I just want to call back to Elseworlds real quick. Or actually call forward. But, how does Oliver not remember the name Ivo and the Amazo? The Amazo is a boat, and Ivo is a scientist. Ivo is a scientist, and the Amazo is a robot. Ivo Industries created the Amazo during Elseworlds. But Ivo created the Amazo in the flashbacks. And it's a boat. Who was messing with the door? So, it's like, how does Oliver not remember that? This dude caught... Slade would still be Oliver's, like, best friend if it wasn't for Ivo. Because Ivo killed him, and then he's like, oh, well, I got the Mirakuru. And then Mirakuru. I'm just like... But back to season 2, which I guess part of that was season 2. Just... Deathstroke. Both these things parallel. Like, the final fight is awesome. It's like a better version of the final fight in Revenge of the Sith, Star Wars Episode 3. You know, where it has, like, it cuts between Obi-Wan and Anakin fighting and Yoda and Palpatine fighting. Except it's present and past. It's, like, the same thing, except the fight scene. Like, you see, during the final fight, Deathstroke tackles Oliver in the past, but right before Deathstroke hits Oliver in the past, he's tackling Oliver in present day, and he, like, grabs him and jumps him and stuff in present day, and it's like, that transition is beautiful. Just beautiful. I hope they have some of that kind of transition in season 8 with the future and the present day. That would be awesome. But I don't know if it's going to happen. Because that was one of my favorite things, is like the final fight. You just have Oliver and Deathstroke duking it out in both timelines, time frames. So yeah. But moving back a little bit, since I just jumped the gun and all the way to the finale, I don't know why I did that. All throughout the season, you have like this stuff with Isabel Rochef and Oliver Queen. Moira knows something that she's not letting on. She doesn't seem to know the whole Deathstroke thing, but she says that Isabel is dangerous. She meant in a whole nother way than she actually is, though. Let's try to keep that symbol going, though. That symbol, you know, the yellow one. Let's try to keep it going away. I'm just kidding. I don't have enough subs to actually have any symbols whatsoever. But, so Isabel is apparently Rose Wilson in this universe. She's not at all, but I'm pretty sure Isabel was supposed to be this universe's Ravager. Is that her name? I think that's her name. But we see Slade has all these powers, which is weird because sometimes he has powers, sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes he controls fire because he's been resurrected by a demon. But this one he has super strength, speed. Well, we can assume he has speed because Roy had speed. But we actually never see Deathstroke use it as far as I'm aware. And it's not like Flash levels of super speed or even Superman levels of super speed. It's slightly slower than Captain America levels of speed. That's what we're going with here. Still speed. You can't deny that, but it's not the same. But he has like... No, he doesn't even have Hulk level strength. He doesn't have Superman level strength. He doesn't have Hulk level strength. He doesn't have let's say he's I want to say he matches with Solomon Grundy though. But yeah, so he has all these abilities and stuff. He also has the uncanny ability. Okay, so he does use super speed one time, I think, because he destroys the lights, or like he damages, or he shuts off the lights in the bunker at one point. And when the lights come back on, Oliver looks around and Slade's gone, and he took like a skeleton key or something. I can't remember what he took. I think it was a skeleton key from William Tuchman. I think that's his name. He appeared on the Flash. He shot Eddie, but whatever. We're not at that point yet. So yeah, I actually hate the Ravager twist, by the way. Loki, like, I don't like it at all. I think it takes away from the season as a whole. It's so stupid, and yet they did something similar with I'll get to that eventually with Supergirl. We're not there yet, so I'm just gonna stop referencing things that are going forward. But this assistant lady, this businesswoman, who is really just eye candy, for all I can tell. She's not very intelligent. At first, she's just kind of a dick, and then suddenly she's Ravager, like a deadly femme fatale kind of character, and she's working with Deathstroke. I was like, I was just like, this is so stupid. And finally, the final 3 episodes are some of the best the series has ever produced. I think... Yeah, actually, no, I was going to say that the finale isn't as good as the rest of it, but no, the finale is, like, even better. I just had to think about it for some reason. But, yeah, when Gotham was... Technically, this isn't in the future, because it is, but I don't have to worry about it, because it's not in that universe yet. So I don't have to worry about jumping the timeline. But Gotham, when they were doing their final season before they got all the Batman stuff at the end, they did this weird No Man's Land storyline, and I was just like, this is so weird and so stupid. Not as bad as Legend Season 4, but I was losing interest. That final season was a disappointment, massive disappointment. Until we got Batman. That final episode, it wasn't able to make up for the rest of the season, but it did a damn good job trying. But when they were doing that storyline, I was just like, this is so stupid. When I first heard people talking about it, I was expecting like the final, or like the semi-final episode of Arrow, season 2. I was expecting that kind of thing, because that stuff was so good, and it's the same concept. I guess there's not a gang war thing going on, though, so I guess it's not as Mad Maxy, but it's the same concept, and Arrow did it so much better than Gotham did it. Like, seriously, that final season, or that semi-final episode, you had the Mirakuru cure and stuff. That was art. That was art. This is it. It's art. It's art. But then you have all of the Deathstroke stuff, and that Deathstroke stuff, like, they built him up as a character in the past from season 1 as, like, a good guy. Well, you sort of get the impression he's a bad guy, but for the most part, he's a good guy. And then, like, he's still a good guy in season 2's flashbacks. So then you wonder why Sarah Lance and Oliver are afraid of him. And, then when you find out, you're like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, as much sense as super drugs make. That was a sentence. Hold on. And yeah, you just... It is now 16. Four o'clock, right? Yes. So yeah, it was just art, okay? Like, this whole season, it was great. It had a rocky start, in my opinion, but the rocky start, the Tessmacher, Isabel Rochef, not at all related, twist at the end, not even that can take away from it. Or it kind of does a little bit, but it doesn't deduct points, in my opinion. I still give this season a 10 out of 10. Probably the best season in the whole show. It's not a bad thing. I mean, it is unfortunate that it peaked in season 2, but the show is still really, really good in season 7, all the way up to season 7. It's really, really good. Not as good. But I mean, you can't improve upon perfection. By the way, the season is not perfect. I have a soft spot for some reason. I do give it a 10 out of 10, but it's probably somewhere more at 8 out of 10, you know? Which isn't bad either. But this is my favorite season of the whole show. It's so good that I'm tripping over my words and stuff. I think just a little bit more than I was in my season 1 review. What else is there to talk about, though? There's so much more to talk about. But I think I might just have to save it a little bit. You do have these elements, though, like, you're wondering, like, they're not plot holes or anything. It's just, like, I mean, due to the sheer fact that they actually mentioned it, it's not really a plot hole. It's supposed to be character. When you mention a plot hole, it's no longer a plot hole, right? It has an explanation that the people behind the scenes know, but you don't, and it kind of bothers you a little bit. Like, I was always like, why won't Oliver just tell them who Slade is? It'll save everyone more trouble. And then Slade kills Moira, and it's like, Oliver, you dumb, I can't say that word. You could have saved your mother, man. If she knew what Mr. Wilson was like, you wouldn't have these problems. Right there, when Moira introduced Oliver to him, thinking that Oliver had no idea who this guy was, he could have just been like, Mom, that's not, he's not a good guy. It's all, I'm pointing, but you guys can't see it. It's all he had to do is tell someone, literally anyone, okay, aside from the people who knew, and tell Thea, Walter, or Moira who this guy is, and Moira would still be alive. But Thea mentions it. Thea mentions the whole lie thing, because of course she has a lie detector, or she is a lie detector. I mean, did you hear how I went on about her in the beginning of this video? The dumb slut is just, ugh. But, like, Oliver, you could have told anyone. My phone's dying. So I don't even have the full time to... Actually, yes, I do. Alright, sorry about that. I was putting my charger on and accidentally hit the button. So... Yeah, my phone's on the charger now. The season as a whole, I still give it a 10 out of 10. You guys need to watch it. It's great television. Game of Thrones, who? No, seriously, who? I don't watch it. I don't know what that is. But the we have the bad ending in Arrow season 1, and this one, aside from two things, which I'm going to mention real quick, this one's a more hopeful ending. Except for the flash forward. The flash forward part sucks. Welcome to Hong Kong, Mr. Queen, sort of deal. You know, it's weird. 27 minutes ago, I actually watched the finale, and I still somehow misquoted the Amanda Waller quote. Which I think is what they're referencing in the Arrow Season 8 episode, Welcome to Hong Kong. So, I'm going to have to cut this. I need a drink real quick. It sounded like I'm about to have some sort of beer or something. But the... You know, flash forwards sucked for Oliver, but... Or flashbacks, that they kind of sucked for Oliver. But... in terms of, like, with Oliver, Felicity, and Diggle, and Lila, and Slade being, you know, put in the prison, the underground prison on the ANU, purgatory. Also, I love that line with Oliver. I do think this, or you're never getting out, you're never hurting another person, because now you're in purgatory. I was just like, ooh, damn, solid roast. But, yeah. You know, Slade behind bars, also underground behind bars. And then you have Oliver, Felicity, Diggle, Lila. They all get happy endings and hope, not happy endings. Well, okay. So Lila and Diggle get a happy ending. Oliver and Felicity get a hopeful ending. They look off to a hopeful future kind of thing. Past Oliver gets screwed, even worse than he was before. And ow, something's on my leg. It's all sticky. It's got my hairs in a bunch. Ow. But then by the way, Lila's pregnant, so that's what their ending was. Quentin, he drops to the ground and like almost dies, so that's not very happy. Thea is doing the lie detecting again, and so she breaks up with Roy, like, you piece of shit, you're working with the Arrow still. And it's like, so she goes with Malcolm Merlyn, because why dump your boyfriend who you actually love because he lies to you? Just so that way you can be with your dad who has lied to you for so long. Like, when you can do that, why would you be with the boyfriend? You know, he still lies to you, and then he gets you to kill your girlfriend, or to kill, not your girlfriend, kill your friend later on. So like, yeah, why be with Roy when you can be with Malcolm instead? Also, I jumped the timeline again. Damn it. This time only slightly, so whatever. But yeah, this has been my review for Arrow Season 2. Thank you guys for watching. I'm a little tired today, so sorry if I'm not as enthusiastic. I still loved it. I just finished up watching it. I was going to make this video, and then I'm probably done for the day. But yeah, go back to that other video I just made. It'll be over here somewhere probably. And let me know who you think would win between Deathstroke and Adrian Chase. Slade Wilson and Prometheus. It's Deathstroke. So, bye. Ow.